stories out there is that some few, are they four? Stories out there are that some four journalists, freelance journalists, have been arrested and released on police bail for being associated with blood in the parliament, the killing of Jinsis, killing of the three Jinsis in parliament. I'm saying it is rumors because if it is true that they were arrested, then those in the government are not even supposed to be in a county government. They are supposed to be in a local government of councillors. Why is it that the government always shoots itself in the foot? I think even there should be a constitutional amendment whereby a new government comes with everybody who's new. If you ask me, we have some civil servants, they are called bureaucrats. We have some bureaucrats whom they'll just let you elect whoever you want to elect. Once you have elected whoever you want, anybody who appears on the ballot paper, including my colleague, Inspector Wajakoya, just elect anybody you want. And when you have elected that person, when the person is sworn in as the president and forms the government, those people will be there. They will even mislead the government, knowing that their job security is guaranteed. Even if Ruto messes and is ousted in the 2027, whoever will come there, they'll even act that, they'll even pretend that in the actual sense we were very loyal to you and that is why we undermined Ruto. I think it was a very useless idea to arrest those people. First and foremost, if it is true that they have been arrested because of that, and I'm saying so, I'm finding it very hard to believe that they were arrested because of the BBC documentary. Because any government worth its salt, remember this is a national government. If you come up from the national government, there is the provincial government, which we do not have. That is the second layer. Then we have the county government, which we have, is it 47 of them? The lowest government is, what do we call? Urban council. The former urban council made of councillors headed by a chairman. Even an urban council, the government of that level could not make such serious mistakes that which are just too open. Let us not give the impression that the current government uses a sledgehammer to kill a fly. First and foremost, the documentary by BBC is wholly owned by BBC. If you are annoyed by that BBC documentary, I'm also annoyed with that BBC documentary, frankly. But you don't just go and pick the four people, the four young men, and then arrest them and then place them in the cells and you start harassing them. It is not fair. If you watch any video or whatever, at the end of the video, it is usually indicated that BBC, in this case BBC has the right of copyright for this video, and any legal or whatever challenges should be done at the BBC. Okay, you are annoyed with the BBC. Arrest BBC and arrest these people. You can BBC, okay, BBC cannot employ me temporarily. I do the job for BBC. Then you get afraid of BBC, you come and arrest me. That one, sincerely speaking, it's wrong. Next time I meet my friend KJ, I think I'll have to tell him that. I'm even more annoyed about BBC than KJ, because if you see the way the BBC aired the program, Bloody Parliament, it's like It's like the what do you call, the soldiers started harassing and killed those youths the way the soldiers, the way the police harassed Butere girls the other day. The way BBC was placing it was placing on that way. The BBC was looking at it from one angle. BBC did not even notice that these people breached the parliament. They did not notice that they breached the Supreme Court. They did not even notice that these people breached the county government city hall and even set fire there. It was like what do you call, a peaceful protest by monks. It was like a peaceful protest like by monks, and that the police or security apparatus just shot at innocent people. That is the mistake of the BBC. But then I'm assuming that these people, the youth, 4 young men were arrested because of their association with BBC. These are people. How could they even know? Maybe they were giving the exam the angle of the security attacking, killing those people, and maybe they assumed that BBC had also hired other people to go and find out who burned the city hall, who breached the Supreme Court, who breached the Parliament. Eh? So you are given your side. It's just like a teacher in a school. You only account for the lessons that you are given, because you know there are other teachers who are teaching the other subjects, so that this student or students end up what do you call, the students end up being what, we be getting B's and and C's and S. You don't you don't expect a teacher who's teaching geography to ask you ever if you are, if the biology teacher is covering a subject or not. And if these young men truly participated in that, then whoever is to be asked for has to be BBC. And if it has to be if these 4 kids are to be arrested, then they have to be arrested together with BBC. Mm. It's like ignoring, what do you call, felonies. You ignore felonies and rush to arrest misdemeanor people. That is wrong. That is wrong. And, and it is sending a wrong message. Lastly, it has to do with the with the confiscation of their equipment, phones, and whatever. Directorate of Criminal Investigation is supposed to encourage young men and other Kenyans to come up with sources of income that can feed those kids and avoid going into crime. Not only with that, can I feed them and avoid them going to crime, but also these kids, when they use their cameras and cell phones and whatever, I nearly say their CMOS. When these young men use their CMOS to earn, not only, as I've said, not only have they created jobs for themselves, fed for themselves, but most important to the DCI is that the young men are two things. Two things. That the young men, when they do their jobs with the cameras and phones, uh, they pay taxes. They pay taxes which the DCI officers are earning. Another thing is when this they are doing that, they they they, they don't go into crime. They don't know go into crime, and so the DCI is not given free hand. So I think DCI should be more happier that these young men and any Kenyan who is on social media, that they are creating jobs, thereby avoiding going into crime. But from this case and maybe others, I'm trying to notice that DCI is trying to muzzle social media. Nobody Nobody ever came out louder than me to condemn the social media youths who are portraying the president in a coffin and whatever. But if this is what the DCI is doing, and if this is what uh, Mzee Atuoli is trying to encourage the government, I would only turn to Ruto and tell him, Ruto, my younger brother, you are a very religious person who has a background in in Christianity from a very young age. Please, please encourage people or young people to go into social media and try as their father to encourage them to upload issues which are good to the country and to themselves. Let I encourage them to upload things which are of moral value. Don't listen to those people who are telling you that you muzzle a source of income from our young people. We may muzzle Kenyans who are uh, going into social media. First of all, let us differentiate. What happened to those four young men and others? Underline the word and others. Is like the DCI has come up with a policy of looking out at the people who do the social media. Especially, I'm very particular about those who earn from social media. Now, when you try to silence them and when you try to kill their nini, it is really bad. Just differentiate. I'm looking at that person who wants to have githeri in the evening. Just because the githeri you have been sold at the market has stones and sand, you don't throw away all the stones and sands. You separate them, and the githeri that you find good, then you start making good supper out of it. You don't just wait for. It's just like what do you say, tribalism or anything. When somebody talks something and then we stereotype and say, nyinyi Waluya mnakuaga hivyo, nyinyi Wakikuyu mnakuaga hivyo, nyinyi Wakale mnakuaga hivyo. No, even the small things that some of these social media people are doing, the way the DCI is reacting is, as I said, is like hitting a fly with a sledgehammer. Let us even in those circumstances of the young men drawing pictures of the president in a coffin. I'm offering myself free. We get those young men, even if you have arrested them, place them in a room with me. As a parent, I'll consult with them. I'll consult with them because look at those, the way it is sad. Yes, it looked bad, but if I were to sit with that young man and tell him, you see, the picture came so perfect, isn't it? We used to have these people who draw portraits using what? Using paints and whatever. Why can't you use that AI to draw somebody's portrait? To draw somebody's portrait. I have pictures which I took a long time ago and I lost the original pictures. I have pictures which are not very, very clear. They can use their AI to reproduce that picture in a very clear manner. Please, we have one country and let us pray for our country.